I know that due to what's going on in the world today, many people are very concerned with how the VA healthcare system's running, and not only that, but what a veteran can expect when he or she goes in, not only in response to COVID, but also just for a normal wellness visit. And so we thank Dr. Kreisman for those updates. They're very helpful. Our next speaker is also a familiar face because she has generously volunteered her time at previous summits to be a speaker. Zaneta Adams is the director of the Michigan Veterans Affairs Agency. She was appointed as director by Governor Gretchen Whitmer in June of 2019. And prior to that time, she actually spent, she's a veteran, she spent 8 years in service as a member of the U.S. Army National Guard, and she was medically discharged with honors. Prior to her appointment as director of the Michigan Veterans Affairs Agency, she was an attorney with Williams Hughes, which is a law firm on the west side of the state in Muskegon, and she assisted veterans with compensation and pension appeals. She has considerable leadership and a very lengthy resume. She has served as a veteran state contact for Senator Debbie Stabenow. She's been an advocate and spokesperson for Challenge America, which is a national nonprofit, and it provides veteran resources. And she's also president and founder of WINC, which is Women Injured in Combat, and that's an advocacy group for women veterans and women active duty members. And she also, in terms of her educational background, she has a bachelor's degree in psychology from Columbia College and a law degree from Western Michigan's Cooley Law School. And today, she's going to be basically giving us an update for the Michigan Veterans Affairs Agency and the work that they're doing to assist veterans in the state of Michigan. And so we'll let Ms. Adams take over.
All right. So, well, thank you for that introduction. My name is Zaneta Adams again, and I am the director of the Michigan Veterans Affairs Agency. Just to give you a little bit of background, our agency was created in 2013, and the premise for our agency was to be stood up to be that central coordinating resource for the state of Michigan veterans and their families. So what that means is that we're here to kind of pull together resources and information from different state departments, agencies, organizations to provide access. And we'll talk a little bit about that as we go through. So just to give you some perspective as to what it looks like, we are the 11th largest population of veterans in the country with a little over 550,000 veterans. Now that doesn't take into account the spouses and dependents that we have to provide services for as well. But we have a rather large population as it goes for states. If you look at this document here, you can see kind of where that veteran population in Michigan is, and if anyone would like to see more of this, I can make sure that the organizers here are provided with a copy of the PowerPoint so that you can look at this to see the numbers and the dynamics and the changes between where we were in 2017 and where we are now. Unfortunately, we've been declining in numbers. But as you'll see on this next slide, there's a reason for that. And so as we talk about the demographics here in Michigan, you'll see that most of our population, we have a huge chunk of our population, over half of our population is made up of those who are 65 and over. So we have an older population of veterans, looking at Vietnam veterans up to a few of our World War II veterans that are left here in the state. And so we really have to focus on making sure that we're not only getting veterans connected to benefits, but that we are providing support for their spouses who sometimes end up being caregivers and their family members as well. So unfortunately, there's some of that decline, and we haven't seen a lot of service members transitioning back to Michigan, and we're working hard on changing that dynamic now through our outreach efforts so that we can have some more veterans moving here and wanting to choose Michigan as their home. So as of right now, it stands at 93% of our veterans are males, and 7% are females, obviously. That number is projected to continue to grow. We have, in the country, we have probably about a 10%, I believe, a 10% number of women veterans that are here, which makes a little bit over 2 million female veterans in the country. That number is projected to grow to about 18% within the next 10 years as more women are joining the military and more women are transitioning out and recognizing themselves as a veteran. And I want to just really confirm and explain that there are a lot of people who don't identify as a veteran because they believe that veterans had to have served in combat. Well, that's not true. By the state definition, if you've served in active duty for basic training and your training school, your AIT or whatever they call it in some of the other branches. I'm Army, so I know a little bit about AIT. But if you've served in that arena, then in any of the arena, and you've passed basic training in your AIT or your specialty school, then for the purposes of Michigan and some of the resources that are available, you're considered a veteran. So that includes National Guard members, that includes reserve members. There are some state definitions or federal definitions, that separate you as to whether you're considered a veteran for the purposes of receiving some federal benefits. And if you're thinking about or wanting to find out more about that, then you can contact us at our 1-800-MICH-VET number. And that's that 1-800-642-4838 number, which we'll post at the end of this presentation. But you can contact us to find out if you qualify for any federal benefits, which a lot of people do. So there are a lot of folks out there, including women veterans, who many of you would be considered veterans in the state of Michigan. I would say most, if not all. There's probably a very, very small percentage that we wouldn't consider veterans in the state of Michigan. So hopefully you're identifying as that as well. So what's interesting is when I talked about what we're here to do, we are here to break down barriers. Now, I served in the Army National Guard, Army Reserves for 8 years. And, when I got out of the military, I had difficulty trying to figure out and navigate systems, because a lot of times you see, just like in some other sectors, you see veterans, opportunities are living in silos. You might, I live in Muskegon County, and, we have a resource, in the city of Muskegon. But if you don't live in the city of Muskegon, you live in Whitehall or Norton Shores, then you may not understand that those resources are available that could really assist you, but that are available for you as a veteran. And so our job is to take all of this, what you see on I'll just call it a hot mess, what you see on the screen, and turn that into something better, because it can be very frustrating. Let's say you're dealing with PTSD symptoms or issues that surround that, or you're dealing with anxiety, or you're dealing with an injury, or you're dealing with all these different things. You don't want to have to be referred from one place to another, to another, to another. So what our job at the agency is to break down those barriers with our no wrong door approach. So what we want to do, and what we have been doing, is we've been compiling resources. We've been creating partnerships, and we've been engaging with other organizations and departments in order to bring this no wrong door approach to 1-800-MICH-VET. So while you can call all those different folks that or that are in your region to find out information, it may be easier to just call us, and we can get you connected to the people in your region, and you don't have to know several different phone numbers. All you need to know is one, and all you need to know is one website. And so if you're looking to get your DD-214, for instance, we have an agreement and a partnership with the National Personnel Records Archive in order to find that DD-214. So if it's here in Michigan or they have access to it, we can pull your DD-214 in a relatively short period of time, a few hours to a few days the most, and get that information to you. Or to, if you're looking for something for a spouse that passed away, we can get that information to you. We can answer questions about whether you're eligible for benefits. We can actually get you connected to a veteran service officer who can assist you with applying for your benefits and getting your service connected compensation and pension, or your aid and attendance for yourself as a spouse, or for your for the veteran, you can get access to all of those different types of things. We have at our fingertips veteran-friendly employers. So if you're looking for a job, one thing I can say is that there are over I believe it was over 50,000 jobs available in the state of Michigan, and maybe it was 5,000, but I swear it was like a huge number, like 50,000. But there are jobs available that you could be applying for. There are jobs with our veteran-friendly employers, and if you call us, we can get you connected to one of those people. Also, educational benefits, so we can give you information on whether your credits potentially transfer into credit equivalencies at colleges. So we are here to provide all of that different information. So again, we talked about who is a veteran, and so Title 38 of the Code of Federal Regulations defines a veteran as a person who served in active duty, Naval or the Air Force, and who was discharged or released under conditions other than dishonorable. So if you're other than honorable, or you had a general discharge, you would be potentially considered a veteran under Title 38. And so that's the federal title. And I want to be clear, we're going to talk a little bit about the differences, but we are the state VA. So we can get you connected to benefits, but we are not the deciders of whether you are going to get those benefits. And so the federal VA is comprised of the VHA, which is the Veterans Health Administration, the VBA, which is the Veterans Bureau Administration, and the NCA, which is the National Cemetery Administration. And they all have different jobs that they do, but if you're frustrated with your health care at the VA, or you're frustrated with the process of getting your claims adjudicated at the VBA, you can definitely call us and we can advocate for you, but we are not the decider of that information. So the federal VA is the one who does that. And our vision is that veterans choose Michigan. And as I talked to you about earlier, we have our population is declining in Michigan. So we are responsive to our World War II veterans, our Korean War veterans, our Vietnam War and Cold War veterans. And we are responsive in that we help to get you connected to healthcare. We have 2 state veterans homes, with one of them being replaced and another one being built right now, to help you in your as you're getting into that time where you need additional assistance in our state veterans homes. And again, we can connect you to that information through our 1-800-MICH-VET number. And we also are helping those folks with quality of life. And we're hoping to attract more Gulf War era veterans, post 9/11 veterans, and letting you know that we have educational opportunities. We have employment opportunities. We have things for you and your families to do here in Michigan, and we can get you connected to a lot of those benefits for those veterans. And licensure through the Department of Law, which we can help you and your spouse. Let's just say you were a dental technician in the state of Texas and you want to move to Michigan. Well, there are some pathways to get you into that licensure quicker here in Michigan, but you can call us to find out more about that. And so we talked about employment. So we have over 400 certified veteran-friendly employers. We have 3 different levels of status. We have gold, silver, and bronze levels. And we require different things of those employers in order to make sure that they reach those metrics, whether it's providing hiring events for veterans only, whether it's providing resources for veterans on the job, whether it's going through training on how to retain veterans at their jobs. All those different things are available for those employers so that they can continue to be current on veteran culture. And then we have our transition counselor expos, which we work with Michigan Economic Development Corporation in order to make sure that we are providing answers to help people to transition to Michigan. Some of the other things I talked about, we talked about licensing and credentialing, which includes spouses. We talked about some of those examples, like utilizing military experience toward licensing, even truck drivers. I know we had some 88 mics out there who may have had qualifications with the military to drive trucks and are looking maybe to do something like that here in Michigan. Give us a call and we can see how we can get you connected to some of those licensure exemptions or to get you into that pathway quicker. Also, with the Department of Education, if you are thinking about going into teaching, they are looking for great teachers, and what better person than someone who served in the military, went through basic training, and knows about discipline to become a teacher here in Michigan. So there are so many different opportunities. It's just one phone call away. we talked about the gold, silver, and bronze level veteran-friendly employer program, but we also have a gold, silver, and bronze level veteran-friendly school program. And that's, we look at all these 7 criteria in order to place them in these categories, and we're looking to see if they have programs for veterans that are in place at their school. So right now, during the pandemic, it's really hard for people to be in person, but that was one of those criteria to see if there were active student veterans organizations or clubs, whether they had a specific link to their website, whether they were doing military credit equivalency and going through those types of training. So we have staff personnel who are constantly working with the universities and schools here in the state of Michigan to make sure that they're providing the best practices and opportunities for veterans to learn and their dependents to get connected. We have 61 veteran-friendly schools in the 2019 and 2020 academic year, and they represent over 11,000 service members and veterans. And they evaluate at least 53 military credit equivalency classes. So that's really important in looking at how you can take what you learned in the military and translate that into some credit, right? Get some money back. So that's really important. Now, we have 4 pillars. We have our employment, we have our education, we have our quality of life, and then we have our health and wellness. So the next one I want to talk about really quickly is our quality of life. And so we have created several different things during this pandemic as everybody's going through a trying time in order to make sure we're staying connected to veterans. And we've been doing that, taking into account that we do have an older population who are not necessarily on social media, but making sure we're reaching them with information so that they can stay connected to us. So one of the things we created during this pandemic was a check on MICH-VET, which was designed to help folks, whether you're a family member or you are that veteran, you can fill out an application online. It's a quick application for us to give you a call to do a benefits checkup. But it's also a way that you can hear another voice on the line of someone who understands what you're going through and maybe can help you with financial assistance, can help you get connected to all different sorts of things. We've done several virtual coffee hours on a different array of topics to make sure that you are current on the information that's being provided, not only during the pandemic, but on information and that's relevant to you, whether it be tribal veterans out there who are looking to have resources and connection, whether it's caregivers who are looking to find out, are there benefits and opportunities for me to get payments or to get mental health resources for me, whether that be, we just had a mental health resources virtual coffee hour. Whatever you need, we're there. One of the other things we look at, which is really great that we're on this call with Legal Help for Veterans, is our veteran justice. So we have 27 veteran treatment courts, and we also were very integral in creating the Veteran Treatment Court Manual in partnership with Cooley Law School in order to make sure that we're providing best practices. So if you are looking to find out more information, we just had Justice Clement on one of our radio shows, I believe it was like last week, and she talked about, she gave this plea out to those who are going through the justice system in any capacity. If you're going through that justice system, let them know that you're a veteran, and there may be a pathway or some additional assistance available for you in that court. Veteran treatment courts are not in all the court systems, but they are in many court systems, and they're continuing to grow. But let them know that you served, because that's going to be important in seeing how we can get you connected to additional benefits. We talked about the veterans' homes. We have the Grand Rapids Home for Veterans in Jacob Betty, which is up in the UP in Marquette. And then we also are building one in Macomb County right now. And so that should be done, looks like early next year. One of the other things that's really important, no matter if you're going through the justice system or not, is our emergency assistance that we have right now. So we have the Michigan Veterans Trust Fund, which is for wartime era veterans. If you're not sure if you're a wartime era veteran, give us a call and you need some assistance. We will take your cases on an emergent need, and there is no necessarily a cap to how much we can pay, but we look at what's emergent and we try to help you with that. So if you're struggling right now, you're dealing with something, maybe you're a victim of some of the flooding, maybe you're having some issues, your lights are about to be cut off because you haven't been able to pay them because you lost your job because of COVID. Whatever the case is, if you qualify, we can assist you with that. We also have a County Veteran Service Fund grant, which, at the end of September, those funds will be done for this year. But if you can contact your county, and that's another avenue, whether you're a wartime era veteran or not, that you can get assistance, you can get access to Meyer food vouchers, you can get the help you need. And so we want you to know that we're here for you. And if you're uncertain as to whether you qualify or not, just call and ask. It's not going to hurt you to call. We're not going to be upset if you don't qualify and you called. We want you to reach out to us to find out what's available to you. And as we talked about earlier, there are some differences with federal VA benefits versus state VA benefits. So we have 38 facilities here in Michigan. When I say we, I mean the state of Michigan. This is where they're at. But the federal VA has 38 facilities here in Michigan. 5 of them are the larger VA medical centers. And then we have 18 CBOCs, which are our community-based outreach clinics, 8 outpatient clinics, which are VA, and 8 vet centers, which help with mental health and wellness. And those are, the vet centers are no cost as well. And then we also have Fort Custer is a national cemetery that we have, and then the historic Mackinac Cemetery. So those are some of the things that we have. Federal VA, which is through the Veterans Benefits Administration in Detroit, they process compensation and pension claims. They assist with, those are funds that go directly to the veteran. So if you're a veteran who has low income and you served in the military, but you don't have a service-connected disability, you could actually qualify for pension. You're over a certain age, or your spouse. So if you're unsure, again, give us a call at that 1-800-MICH-VET number. They also help out with the GI Bill. They help with Voc Rehab, which is their veteran readiness and employment programs to get you either to basically get you employed. So if you're a veteran who's struggling and you have, I believe it's still at least a 10% rating, then you may be able to get assistance through the Veterans Benefit Administration. And they also have folks enrolled in healthcare. I would say then, how can you get connected to benefits? So it's really important that we emphasize that we have 138 accredited counselors in 73 counties, and we have 60 accredited veteran service officers within the Michigan Veteran Coalition. And we have 5 that we service as well, that we offer as well through our agency. So if you called us, you would get connected to one of those over 200 veteran service officers in the state. You would get connected to one of those folks who could help you get your claim. And so we really are focusing on trying to increase the training that these folks receive so that they can continue to provide the quality service that veterans and their spouses and caregivers need in the state of Michigan. So give us a call and we can get you connected to that. One of the other ways we're connecting veterans with benefits is through our VCATs. And so that's our Veteran Community Action Teams. And through that Veteran Community Action Team, we have 10 of them across the entire state. So we have 10 prosperity regions that was set up during the last governor's administration, and we have one in each region. And VCATs, what they do is they bring together nonprofits to actually help veterans in that region. So each region knows what's specific in their region to help veterans, and they know what's important in that region. And one region is not going to be the same as another. The UP is going to be different than the region that services Detroit. So we want to make sure that if you're an organization or you're a service provider, that you get connected to the VCAT in your region so that you start to learn what's out there for veterans, so that when you service those veterans within your organization or company, then you know what's available. Another way that we're trying to reach veterans is through our core initiative, which is our community outreach and regional engagement. That's a relatively new program, and it's comprised of several different components, whether it's senior veteran community engagement officers, our buddy-to-buddy volunteer mentorship initiative, which is our volunteers, our speakers bureau, which goes out and speaks to different folks and organizations and places like this, and even schools to educate them on the veterans benefits that are available, but also pride in the military. And we do this, and we also work with MDHHS, which has veteran navigators, and they help with the mental health and substance abuse piece of the puzzle in order to pull together this comprehensive team of people that are working within your communities. And we have 10 of those core groups throughout the state in each of those regions as well. So you'll see more of that soon. Finally, you can connect to us through our Michigan Veterans Resource Service Center, which is that 1-800-MICH-VET number I've been talking about. That's at 1-800-642-4838, or you can reach us at michiganveterans.com, and that's 24/7 access. So our actual technicians are there from 8 to 5 Monday through Friday, but then it transitions over to 211 operators. So if you called at midnight, you'd be able to reach someone, and they can get you connected to some resources, or send us an email if it's something that you need to get service provision following that. So know that there's always going to be a voice on the line if you need to call. And so if you have any questions, you feel free to reach us. You can give us a call at 1-800-MICH-VET, or you can go online at michiganveterans.com, fill out Check on My Vet, or you can send an email to our link that's there. Thank you so much for having me today. I hope that I provided you with it was very high level information, but I hope I was able to provide you with some information that you will find useful.